Hello YouTube, bear with me. This is my third attempt at recording it due to interesting sound, and this is the second part from the preparation for the Java programming. This part's quite simple. It's basically brought up to your own choice. It's about what text editor you're going to use. You could basically use your textEdit or your notepad that's already built into the computer, but I'd probably recommend something that's actually made for it, such as the ones I'm about to show you here. The one I use is called Text Wrangler. As you can see here, icon looks a bit like that. You'll be able to see it right in here, Text Wrangler. It's one I use, except it's Macintosh only, and it is a very good text editor. That's one I'd recommend if you're on Mac, but if you're on a Windows computer, then the next best is Notepad++, which is a very responsive, reliable one. And you can use it as line numbers, C++, Java. It's basically the next best thing. And it's basically proved a lot more popular than Text Wrangler. I like that moreover for personal preference than anything else. But if you're not a big fan of the basic notepad, then the next thing I recommend is Vim. I've had my little quarrels with Vim in the past. It's a interesting little editor. It's very powerful, don't get me wrong, but there's a learning curve to actually using it. There's a whole lot of commands to do what you want in it. And if you get good at it, it's probably easier and a lot quicker to go through, but you have to memorize all the commands and use the directional buttons mostly, because it's not very nice with the mouse unless you customize it a bit. So when you're starting, that's probably the slowest bet for it. So I'd either go with Notepad if you're on Windows, or Text Wrangler if you're on a Macintosh computer, or if you're on Linux, I think you might be stuck with Vim, or I probably recommend you just use the main one. This actual website will be in the link, so if you want to try any of these, then I recommend you do it. And lastly about this is actual saving, so you can use the Java files you create, because most of these ones, when you save it, it's going to default into .txt format, but you want .java format. So what you see here is my text wrangler file. I'm not going to write anything in there because we're not going to see with Java code or anything like that, so don't worry about that. Here we're doing is this part, you want to save it, so it has the .java. Initially this would have had .txt, but when you have it .txt, you can't execute that or compile it for Java code, so you have to go in there and change that from .txt to Java, or alternatively you could just save it as txt and then change the attachment part at the end to Java when you're finished. So at the end you'll have a file like this with Java on the end. Well, that's the end of that preparation one, so the next one will start to get onto the actual main things. The actual coding, learning about your integers, floats, combining them, submodules, different files. This is where I actually start to get good and get into the code. So once you've done the preparation thing, come look for the other videos, because, well, I should get somewhere near there by then, hopefully. Thank you for watching.